Good afternoon, this is Smellyfoot Farm, our small homestead hobby farm. This is July 3rd, 2023. I'm only doing a video today to show you the damage from the unconfirmed tornado that came through here yesterday. They might have been classifying as just a severe thunderstorm, but from what we saw, it was an unconfirmed tornado. Some of the damage we already cleaned up. However, I'll take you through what's left. We already have some brush by the road. Have some trash that I picked up. You'll notice my canopy is gone, completely gone. That was my second attempt at a roadside farm stand, and I won't be making any further attempts. Everything I'll have to sell will be on marketplace. You'll see the tornado, the hail damage peppered all of my plants up front, all of my pumpkins, and I have some watermelon and cantaloupe through here. It's pretty well done. It snapped off the tops. Hopefully there'll be some regeneration of these things. But I mean, it tore through everything. I don't even know that I'm gonna spread this horse manure compost around. I mean, I'm pretty tore up about everything at the moment. The tore up that makes you just not want to save anything. Again, no canopy. The plants that were up there, all of them are snapped. Luckily, probably because of the smaller bendable trees here, not a whole lot happened to the rabbits, so we're grateful for that. They did lose the top of their feed can, and rain did blow in and got a lot of their feed wet, so we just emptied that. But again, you know, any loss is money, so any of the food that we had to pour out resulted in a loss of money for the farm. I'm just gonna put that trash down there for now. We've got to clean up the trash that is here. Had a few of these plants snap. As you can see, a lot of my flowers snapped. Peppered through the sunflowers, and the nasturtiums lost a lot of their leaves. There's another snapped sunflower. The marigolds didn't do too bad, but a lot of the other flowers, I mean, that one's completely gone. My rhubarb, I had 12 rhubarb, and I might have 3 or 4 that actually make it. It took Cosmos out. The chicken mansion, I don't know if you can necessarily see how bad it is from the ground, but a branch came down and smacked the roof, and it's a catastrophic failure of a 2x4. It ripped the door off the hinges. Luckily, Chicken Man and Amhiki are okay. We did a lot of farm work yesterday. This kind of reverses the farm work that we actually were able to get done. We had moved the quail out here, and luckily all the animals made it, but there was no damage to that. I'm gonna put this back in the garage. We were super excited, and he bought 4 Easter eggs at Rural King yesterday. We had just, the day before, and we had just moved them outside yesterday. And they're okay. We had lots of branches and things down back here, lots of limbs. You can kind of see the remnants of the leaves. That's what we drug out to the road. Our rocking glider and that blue chair was thrown all the way to the other side of the deck. I'll have to clean that up today. A lot of the stuff I'm just not going to be able to get to today. It's not something it's not feasible to fit all in one day, along with all the other things that I have to get done. We had several of the beans snap, but it looks, for the most part, like everything is okay. You can see where the hail peppered the leaves, so we hope that there's a cage or 2 that's been knocked over. We hope that, the energy that the plant is taking in is going to have to go to repairing the plant and not necessarily producing any produce. All the corn stalks kind of went a different direction. I think we did have a couple snap, but luckily it wasn't as many as I was fearing. As you can see right here, we had part of this tomato plant snap off. It could have been a lot worse. I do have a couple things that didn't fare as well. The guy right there didn't do so hot. I don't see any fruit torn off. There used to be a squash right here. It was snapped completely off. And there it is. And it was doing so good. It had so many on it. Luckily, that guy's still doing okay. I need to harvest a few today, but again, hail peppered everything. I had just planted a few replacement plants. And I don't know that, nope, that one is completely snapped off. That one is partly snapped off. You know, we are blessed that none of the animals were killed. That's snapped. We're blessed that we're safe. We're blessed that not more damage was done. However, when you have worked so hard to keep your farm and your homestead, and you've gotten so much done, to see any damage to it, it breaks your spirit a little. So there are a few. Like I said, I just planted those right before that storm came through. You make it, little frog. It looks like most of the big leaves had snapped, but hopefully they'll still grow. They snapped right over. Snapped. Almost every single one of them. Good thing I didn't put those other cucumber plants up for sale, but now that I don't have a canopy, I'm not sure where I'd put them anyways. Yeah, it looks like all the produce that I see is still on there. What a shame. So like I said, it might not look like a lot of damage when you know, but when you know what you've put in to the plants and the enclosures, it tugs at you a bit. Everybody out here was okay. Things were thrown around in the yard. Yeah, look. There's a watermelon. He snapped off. We weren't expecting bad weather until about 5. So the store was open and everything in here was saturated before the wind knocked that out of the way. And after it knocked it out of the way, it shut the door. So at least it did that. He said a peach tree had fallen, but maybe it was the branch off of this one that we had tied together. We had to take one of them off, but we had tied that together to try to save it. I was for sure that it was that one. It's almost positive. Looks like we caught a mole. However, it was this one. It uprooted from the bottom. Unrelated. We've got a problem with Japanese beetles. And I might make the bees mad, but I got pinched by one of those the other day. I was not happy. A lot of the branches on my pepper plants took a dive. Hoping that I can save most of them. I went back through and just tried to tie them up a little better. All I had was, at the time, was zip ties. It looks like I need to come through and tie up a few more. But there were a few that just, like this one, the entire main stem busted off. I might have just enough partially damaged peppers from the front to be able to replace some of them. Unfortunately, it won't be replacing them with what was in there. It'll just be replacing them in general. But this back here, trees fell and busted down 2 fences. Not completely down, but just enough. Let's see if I can get through here. Just trying to see if there are any Japanese beetles in that old trap. So Dallas came back here with his chainsaw. And got wood off of the fence. The fence had busted down right there where the general is. And had busted right here. You can see it's kind of wonky at the top. Several limbs and branches were down. You can see where some of them are down over there. We have not gone through the woods yet to see what damage is done out there. Honestly, with the things that we have to do on the farm now, in addition to what we already had planned, it's gonna be a minute before we get out there. Luckily, he didn't see any damage to the bees. The wildflowers, on the other hand, they didn't all fare so well. But luckily, we have some. They said everybody is still building like they're supposed to. They said some of the flowering weeds and some of the flowers took a bit of a nosedive. And while that is sad, it's not near as upsetting as other plants. I'm gonna have to tie that up later. So that is a tour of the damage that is still left from the unconfirmed tornado of July 2nd, 2023. Like I said, as small as it seems, it's quite devastating when you've only got so much time in a day, and the time that you do have, you think you've gotten a lot done, is slowed down, put on hold, and a redo from a storm. Take a look at the herbs and then I'll close it out. I've got to clean the duck pond. One of my regular jobs that I still have to do before I can keep cleaning. And that wood, that branch that he has up there, it fell, but at least it didn't fall and hurt anybody that I could see. The sage is okay. The cilantro made it. Some of the little pieces of dill, they might have snapped off, but hopefully they'll still do good for the rest of the year. Looks like, if anything, the oregano took a little bit of a hit, but other than that, I think we'll survive to see another day.